So this morning I'm on my way to Fort Belknap Reservation, specifically to Harlem, to help assist in the filming of a documentary. I'll be working with a nonprofit here in Montana called MAPS Media Institute. And what MAPS is it's a nonprofit that teaches the youth, teaches high school students around Montana video production. And so they come in and they work on various, documentaries or short films with groups of high school students. And they go through the entire process of making a film, whether it's a short film, a documentary, music videos, things like that. Kind of how I got this job is I have a friend who used to work for MAPS. I believe now she sits on their board, and she had mentioned to me possibly asking if I was interested on helping out on this project. This was earlier this summer, and I said, yeah, definitely, I'm interested. And so she got me in contact with the people that are working on this particular documentary. We've had conversations, over this summer about what that might look like. And so I'm coming along just to help film, and also kind of be a consultant, because it has to do with, it's native issues, particularly this with the boarding school. And being native myself, they kind of want, I guess, my perspective on it. They see the value in having someone on the production crew that understands these issues and understands reservation communities, tribal communities. I've actually worked with MAPS before. I've worked with, the individuals that I'll be working with today in Fort Belknap. I've actually worked with them a few years ago on another project back in Poplar on Fort Peck. I believe they'll have a director, the main DP, and then I'm coming along just as a secondary, probably camera op. And then we're also working with, I want to say it's like 5 or 6 high school students from Harlem High School. We'll just be teaching them, the basics of video production, the behind the scenes type of things, how a film is put together. So I got up at 4:30 this morning, left the house by 5. I had about a 3-hour drive to Harlem, and we're doing a full day of filming today, and then also a full day tomorrow. I'll just be here for 2 days, I believe. Drew, the guy who's the director, DP, he'll be here for, I think, 3 or 4 days, but they only need me for 2. I think today and tomorrow are the heavy lifting days, and the other ones might just be getting B-roll and stuff like that. So I'm only here for 2 days, and then I'm back home, which is great, because I'm not taking on any jobs right now that have to do with editing. Anything that I got to take with me, I have to, I don't have enough time to do those types of jobs. These ones are a little easier. Go in, film for a couple days, get paid, and leave, which is good for me because I have so much work waiting for me back home.
No, because I think what we need to do is,
when I was asked to help on this project, they initially told me I didn't need to bring any gear, which was fine with me, because then, that's one less thing I have to worry about. But then later in our conversations, as we were getting closer to the project, they asked what cameras I did have, and I told them I had an FX6 and an FX30. And then they said, it might be nice to have an FX6 on set. So I ended up bringing that, and that's what we're using here. I have the 35 1.4 on it for our kind of main interview shot. I won't be talking too much about what the documentary is about. I just want to be respectful of the people that hired me, just in case they don't want it out there on YouTube. But I will say that my 2 days there filming consisted of filming interviews on both days, filming a roundtable discussion, minus the table. That's actually what I'm filming right here. And then we also did some outdoor shots, which you'll see later in the video. And we split the interview portion up into 2 days. And I want to say we had over 5 hours of footage just from the interview. And so we did that for a few hours in the afternoon on day one. And then we also we filmed kind of like a roundtable discussion with about 5 or 6 of the students just to kind of get their perspective on what they heard throughout the day. And so me and Drew, who was the director / DP for the project, this is us right here. We both have our cameras filming. I'm taking, the 3 students to my right, and then he's filming the 3 students to his left, and our cameras are kind of crossing one another just so we get good angles of each of the students. I'm staying at the Moonlight Motel in Harlem, Montana, and apparently all of the rooms have different themes. And I've got the car theme. The second hotel I've stayed in recently that has an actual key. And then here we are on the second day, and it was much of the same, kind of what we did on the first day. We did a couple more hours of interviews in the morning, and then we had a break for lunch, and then in the afternoon we headed to a location on the reservation there at Fort Belknap to do some more filming for another scene in the documentary. Man, we lucked out as it was just a beautiful September day that afternoon. Septembers are really great in Montana. Actually, I would say like May, June, and September are some of the best months in Montana. And I'd say that this footage right here definitely captures a beautiful fall day in Montana. So we traveled about, 45 minutes to an hour to get to the site, which was on top of a butte that overlooked the reservation prairies there. And what we did out there is we gathered some B-roll of the main subject of the documentary, as well as filmed a sit-down discussion with him and a few of the students, as you see here, where they just chatted and asked him questions. It was really great. And then after they finished talking, we had them just remain seated, and I just roamed around, gathered different types of angles, and Drew got some drone shots. And it was filming this project that I realized I could really use something like a camera saddle. I flirted with the idea of, rigging up a shoulder mount. I started to, but a saddle just seemed to make more sense. And I eventually ended up buying one, and you'll see it in future videos, and I'll probably talk about it. I really enjoy it, and I think it's been a good investment so far.
All right, that's a wrap. At least for me it is. I'm done. I think they're going to continue filming for another couple of days. I only was here for the past 2. Couple of extremely long days, but they were good. Yesterday my day started I woke up at 4:30 a.m. I left the house at 5. I had a 3-hour drive to make it over here to Fort Belknap, and then immediately got to work from 8. We worked from 8 a.m. yesterday till I think like 7 p.m. So that's like an 11-hour day. And then I went back to my room and crashed out hard, and then got up early, got up at 6:30 this morning, and then we were back working at 8:30, and we just wrapped up at about 6:30. We were up at Snake Butte, as you saw. Really beautiful place up there. We just filmed with our main subject and a couple of the students. They just sat around on some chairs, and we just recorded them having a conversation. It's just one particular scene in the documentary. this morning, and then pretty much all day yesterday. We filmed inside. We did a sit-down interview with the main subject of the film, and we got like 3 hours of interview yesterday, and then another couple, I think 2 today. So that's what we did. And then today we went out to Snake Butte there, just a beautiful place. And I'm very blessed to be able to find myself filming in locations like that, especially here in Montana. I love my state, I love Montana, and I count myself very fortunate to be able to find myself in the places that I do filming. It's not something I take for granted. But yeah, it's a wrap for my time here on this project. I want to thank Maps Media for having me out and trusting me enough to do my part in the documentary. But now I got a long ride back home, another 3-hour drive, and I'll be back home. Got other projects that I need to work on, got other stuff waiting for me. So that's it for this video. Again, if you made it this far, I appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.